Hi, this is Murray from Second Time Tech, and today I'm going to be talking about my studio system again, because I've done a few different things to it. And I went on Amazon and I picked out pretty close to the parts that I have inside my studio computer, and got a different motherboard as an ITX motherboard, and I got an ITX case there. So basically it's going to be one that you could actually move around if you wanted to. You could carry it and stuff like this and whatnot. You couldn't throw it in a backpack or anything. It's not real small, but it's way smaller than what I have and something that would be movable. So I just thought I'd throw something like that together through Amazon and figure out what the cost was. And I have the cost in Canadian and in US dollars. And so I'm going to go through that. But first I'm going to talk about my studio computer. First of all was the render time of my last video. The time of the video was 17 minutes and 21 seconds. And the render time was 8 minutes and 44 seconds on DaVinci Resolve 15 Beta 6. And that was using this card, which is the GTX 470. Now what I did was I took out that card, of course you can tell because it's sitting right there, and I put in my MSI RX 580 4GB Armor card, and I re-rendered it. And when I re-rendered it, of course the video was again 17 minutes and 21 seconds, and it rendered it to 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Sorry about that. 4 minutes and 6 seconds. And so I did a comparison in percentages to see what it would be. So basically what I did was I took the percentages in time of the length of the video. So basically the video is 17 minutes and 21 seconds, and it took 50.4% of the time of that time to render the video, which would be 8 minutes and 44 seconds with this video card, the GTX 470. For the RX 580, it took 23% of the time. So 23% of 17 minutes and 21 seconds is 4 minutes and 6 seconds. So that's one heck of a difference. I checked the difference between the two, and the difference is 119%. That's how much faster it was. So it more than halved the time in order to do it. And that's pretty darn good. So I'm going to stick with that video card because, like I say, of the time, because time right now is good for me to have and not good for me to sit down and just watch it go, because I can only do one thing at a time anyway, because I only got one system. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And then what I did was I started to overclock the system a bit more. So from what I had last time, basically what I did was I put the CPU at 39.75 in BIOS, and I put the voltage up to 1.415, and I changed the clock to 100.4, and that's because it was still sitting at 99.7. So I just wanted to get it as close to as 100 as I could. And I think it went to 100.6 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. And whenever I did that, the Cinebench R15 score went up to 1799. One off of what I want. But then whenever I ran Blender this time instead of Prime 95, and it passed, no problem. But whenever I did the MEM test, it ran for about 80% and then it gave me an error. So I had the settings at 12, 12, 10, 12, 26, and I had it in T1 timing, and I had the voltage at 1.5 volts, and the rest of the stuff I left the same. And so what I did was I changed it, and I went to I think it was 13, 13, 11, 13, 28. And still the T1 timing, so the rest of it the same. And I tried it there, and it did the same thing. So I'm kind of stuck on that one right now to try and get the timing correct on that. It may not have been the first timing. It may have been the other timings that I had. I might have to put them in auto, back to auto, but I'm not positive. So I'll let you know like next week what I had to do in order to, because I'm going to try to get it as close to that as possible, and that way there I'll be really close to that 1800 on the Cinebench R15 score. So we can talk a little bit more about that next week. So that's basically what I got on my desktop studio system. And now I'll talk a little bit about the, basically it's pretty close to what my system is, but in an ITX style case. And basically what I did was I went with cost and functionality. I didn't go for like the absolute best thing that's out there, but I didn't want to go over for the cheapest thing that's out there either. I wanted something that would be at least usable to like someone that's a few months into their YouTube video editing and stuff and whatnot, and knowing that they need something a little bit better, but maybe they go one place to another, and I just wanted to put it in something that would make more sense for them to be able to move it, or it could be stationary. You could just get a bigger case and a different motherboard if you want it. But like I say, that's up to what the personal usage is for different people. Now, the first thing that I did was I looked for, and of course these are all on Amazon, so they might find better prices somewhere else in the States, but in Canada, pretty much it. Even Newegg, well, sometimes Newegg, but not a lot of differences in the prices there. But basically, I'm just going to go through each item, and I'll put them in the show notes, and I'll tell you the prices. I'll tell you the Canadian price first, and then I'll switch to the US and tell you the US price of each component. I did have to change one of the components because I found one that was way cheaper and better in one of the video cards. So we'll see that. That's for the American version. Anyway, so basically what I got for the case is a Thermaltake Core V1 Black Edition. And in Canada, it's $69.99. And in the US, it is $45.99. Then I got the ASRock mini-ITX motherboard, the X370 Gaming. And in Canada, it's $199.14. And in the States, it is $141.49. Now, I went with the same processor that I got because I checked them all out, and it's still the best buy that I can find. It's the Ryzen 7 1700, and it's $264.24 in Canada, and in the States, it's $228.95, and I can't find anything closer. I tried the 2600, but it's just not as good, and it's more expensive, so it just didn't make any sense. So anyway, so the next thing that I got was memory, and the memory is the Corsair Vengeance LPX, 16 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz RAM, C16, and in Canada it's $237.87, and in the US it is $189.99. The next thing was an NVMe drive, and I went with, I guess, the second best one on the market, which would be the Samsung 970 EVO, 500 gigabyte, and in Canada it's $259.90, and in the States it is $189.99. I did a lot of research on the hard disk drives, so I went with, again, the same. Now this one's the same one that I'm using in mine because it has really good reliability, and it's the Toshiba P300 3 terabyte drive. It's a 3.5 inch drive, and in Canada it's $111.49, and in the States it's $74.99. Now, for the power supply, I went with the EVGA 600 watt B1 80 plus bronze. Now, the reason why I went with that, it does have all the cables attached, I know, but that case can handle it, and the price is just so good for that in Canada. It's $59.99, and that is a really good buy. And in the States, it's $49.99. You may be able to find something a little better in the States, but I looked around, but it was still the best one that I could find. Then the next thing would be the video card. Now the video card I picked was basically the 8 gig version of what I have, and I have the 4 gig version, which is the MSI RX 580 Armor 8 gigabyte. And in Canada, that's $372.63. Now, in the States, I looked at that one, and it was, I think, $289 or $299. I went, that's kind of high. And then the one right underneath of it is like a really good one, and it's an XFX Radeon RX 500 GTS XXX edition, and it's the 8 gigabyte, and it's overclocked, and it's only $249.99. So that $40 to $50 difference for a better card, I mean, it made more sense to do that. So that's what I put on the American one. On the Windows, I've got Windows 10 Pro, and it's available through Amazon for for $14. That's the starting price on it. And I went on the American site, and the price on it starts at $14.50. And those are for the key codes and the download site in order to go get them. Now, what I did was I didn't think that everybody would want an AMD card, so what I put in was a GTX 1060 6GB, which is pretty much the equivalent of the 580 8GB, and in Canada it's $379.99. That's for the Asus version, and the exact same one in the States is $292.89. Now, I did not put the price of that into the cost of the system. I put the RX 580 in there if you wanted to go with the NVIDIA brand. You would just have to change the amount difference. So basically, the system in Canada would cost $1,587.30, of course Canadian dollars. And from Amazon US, the price is $1,185.88 in US dollars, of course. And I figured that was a pretty decent system. I mean, I like the way mine's running. 23% time render rate, I think is pretty darn good. And you can overclock it. It has a good CPU cooler in with it. And if you don't want to use that one, in the States, $50 to $70 will get you a good AIO, and in Canada, somewhere in the range of $75 to $100 will get you a good AIO for it. But those ones have to be either 120 or 140 millimeter, because that's all the case will take. But my Master Liquid 120, that's what I'm using in mine right now, and it will fit into those ones. So the 140 will give you a little better cooling. Well, it may or may not, because like I say, that Master Liquid 120 is working awesome compared to the Captain 240EX, so I guess it just depends. Well, I'm almost 20 minutes now. So, guess basically that's all I have for today. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. If you like the content, then please subscribe. And if you want to get notifications, you do have to click the bell. I do want to wish everybody a wonderful week. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Bye.